So we're not going to wait for followers to come on. We're going to just start. We're just going to get soul conversation with Sandra started, or soul talk with Sandee started, or whatever I'm going to end up calling this. I think I would probably call it soul talk with Sandee. I think. And I wanted to, we're going to talk about affirmations and embodiment, right? At least, what I know of it. What I believe works for me. All right? And the thing about embodiments and affirmations is it's as unique as the user that uses it. It acclimates to who uses it. Acclamations and embodiments are part of the universal tools that we get to use to bring ourselves forward into the story. And this is all a story. It's just, it can be a story from illusion, or a story from us being in a matrix, or it can be a story from the divine, or a story from those who believe that God is the conscious mind. It can be a story. It's about who we are and what our thought pattern is, and how much energy we bring to creating. The divine doesn't say one story is better than the other. So you can be old-fashioned, dogmatic Christian, or born-again Christian, or a Baptist, or a Catholic, or Judaism, or Muslim, or anything else. And the divine says yes to it. But we all have tools within those yeses. So affirmation is said to be the action or process of a statement or fact or facts. It's the action. That's what an affirmation is. The action that you're going to take. The I am. Right? You're saying something that makes the statement true. You're saying, let it be so, or so it is, or ashe. I am is usually from the root chakra, right? And then you have embodiments, the tangible or vision form of an idea. It's the quality or the feeling. The representation of something that is in a tangible or visible form, or that you want to make visible, that you want to bring from formless into form. Hi, Goddess Love 88. Welcome, everyone. Welcome in. I just, it's been a couple of weeks since I kind of went inward and had to do, who knows, maybe it was a little bit of shadow work, or take a moment for my body to come back in alignment with my energy. It wasn't I didn't go out to find my energy. I didn't go out to call it back from any realm. The energy I have is always in me. It's always recycling. I have a wellspring of energy. I have a fountain of energy. My body just has to acclimate to how much I'm open to using my energy. My energy to serve others and myself for my highest, greatest good. Embody is to be, this is something that I wrote a long time ago that I'm sharing. Okay. Embody is to be an expression of or give tangible or visible form to an idea, a quality, or a feeling. Now, when we do the law of attraction, when the law of attraction first came I first seen or heard of it through The Secret. It was giving you, for me, the way I felt, it was showing you how to manifest through your thoughts and through positive thoughts, right? And I learned it that way, okay? But it doesn't mean that that was the finite or the finished version of it. You're going to grow and you're going to expand. Just like right now when you go, now they've got before kindergarten, pre-K, and then they've got kindergarten and kindergarten through 6th grade or 7th grade or whatever. And then you grow and you learn basically what you're going to learn. And then you go to 8th, 9th, 10th, grade, and 11th and 12th. And then you go to college, and then you graduate college, cum laude or whatever. You're constantly growing and expanding, right? And this is the law of attraction. Or what the law of attraction is most known as is the law of one, which is the law of love. Wow, I just named 3, right? Well, the divine, whatever you may call your higher being or the higher beingness, have created all of this for us. And no matter what human label we give it, it still is. So what works for one might not work for another because why? It's one size just doesn't fit all. And not everyone is in the same learning cycle. Not everyone has graduated from one cycle to another. Yet guess what? We as human beings, we judge each other by that. We talk about how great one is and how behind another is. Where the divine is not judging you at all. The divine is just having the experience. For me, I learned that the divine moves in, through, and as me as I'm having these experiences. Whether they're good or bad, that's on me. But the divine is just having an experience. It's saying, let it be so. It says, write it down in the Akashic Records or the Great Hall of Akashic Records or whatever is the memo that the divine is taking down as it has its life story with me. Forever, however long it has with me. Right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So what we learn about the law of attraction or any of the other laws is these laws, they can't be rewritten by man. They can be misunderstood by man or understood by mankind, humankind. I'll take that away. Not just man, but humankind. But they can't be rewritten. They can't be bargained with. There is no really gray area. The laws of the universe are energy that's seeking to serve. Whatever you want. Whether you're thinking about it consciously or unconsciously, it seeks to serve. Whether you believe in it or not, it seeks to serve. It will find that energy within you and it will serve it. So I just listened to a beautiful live with Raymel Bentley. And the thing is that when we ask for abundance, we have to actually know what we're thinking about abundance. Because if we're thinking about abundance, but we're not in the action of the abundance, we're in the action of lack or envy or malice or hate or strife or not liking the person who's got more than you or you thinking you should have had what they had, then the divine is going to give you abundance of that. If you're busy if you're so spiritually high on your high horse and you're talking about others and talking them down because you think that's the way they're learning and you are demanding or requiring abundance to be part of your package, the divine is going to give you abundance of that. The divine is going to go where you vibrate. Even if you think you're talking somebody, bringing somebody down to where they need to think about and you bringing them down to their, I'm here to trigger people. Really? The higher being might have come online to play this game, but if you're in the form of your ego that thinks that you're here to trigger somebody to change, and you purposely go out to trigger them to change, You're doing that on purpose. That's vibration. And the universe has no gray area. It's not going to bargain with you about why you're doing what you're doing. It's going to say your wish is my command. And that energy is going to come back to you, not to them. And you know what? When I finally got that, and then add to listening about really that word abundance, it can be abundance of negative and positive. It can be abundance can be on the polarity, the higher polarity, and it can also be on the lower polarity. It's subjugated to you. What are you vibrating to the law of attraction about your abundance? Right? That's called embodiment, by the way. You're embodying it. When you're talking about somebody left and right, up and down, and it ain't nice, but you think you're higher than you should be in doing it, you're embodying that vibration. And the law of attraction, based on the vibrational verbiage that the divine has given it, has no recourse but to say your wish is my command and give you that. An open door to more abundance of negativity. The same negativity that you're talking about others comes to you. Think of it this way. Think of yourself as a person who drives a car and you always tailgate others. And you're always complaining about how slow they are, or how they're tripping you up and they're making you late and blah, 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 right? Then when that happens to you, what do you say? Oh man, this guy won't get off my tail and blah, blah, blah. And why is this guy honking at me? And they better get off my tail. And if they're speeding around you, I hope something bad happens to them. Really? But here's the thing is, you just embodied that. On both sides. You embodied it by being a tailgater, and you embodied it by being tailgated, and still embodying that vibration. So what happens? It keeps coming. I heard something really, really great. Michael Bernard Beckwith said in one of his ministry moments, I call it ministry moments, that karma is a drop-off point. Karma isn't a bitch to get back at somebody else for you. Karma is a drop-off point. It shows you your energy. It shows you your moments. It reflects to you. It's a starting point. And it says, I'm here again. Here's life again. What do you want to do? And then you get to embody something that you can tell life, hey, life is waiting for you to give it a command. What do you want to give it? Do you want to keep that cycle going? Or do you want to embody something else? Right? Embodiments. I'll say it again. The tangible or vision form of an idea, of a quality, or of feeling. The representation of something in a tangible or visual form. Embody. To be an expression of or give tangible or visible form to idea, quality, and feelings. The more you embody something, the more the vibrational field, the more that vibration bumps up against the quantum field, and the more the universe that's attached to that quantum field says, your wish is my command. The more it serves you, because that's the program that was written from the divine. So, what's your action? Of affirmations, the action or process of a statement of fact or facts. What action do you take after you say, I want to be rich? Well, I had to embrace a couple of questions after that. Those were my actions. Well, why do I want to be rich? And when I get rich, what am I going to do with it? And how is it going to function? And where is it going to go? And who is it going to help? And is it going to be for my highest and greatest good? How does being rich feel? How does being rich taste? What do I want to be rich in? Do I want it to only be monetary value, or do I want to be rich in peace and joy and love? Do I want to be rich in property, in abilities? Do I want to be rich in creativity? So many questions, so many embodying questions. Before I tell the universe to get cracking. Let's get working on that. Sometimes you just got to embody you. And sometimes that's a deep dive into you, into yourself, into who you are, and then asking, who am I really? You answer the question of who you are based in form, and then you go and you deep dive and say, who am I really? Because now you've got to go into the formless of who you were before you took on the form body. Right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know, Soul Talk with Sandee M. It's not about a right or a wrong. It's about you, bringing you to the you're the lead in the script, and bringing you to the round table of you, the lead. And finding out that you have integral parts of you that help you to be the lead, that you don't have to do it all alone, that there is more to this story than meets your eye, but you don't have to accept it if you don't want to, because most people think if you go inward and start seeking the divine from within and out, that means that you have to give something up as opposed to gaining something, right? But giving something up is only what the divine sees as change, as growth, as expansion, as shifting, as evolving, creating. When the divine created all of the universe, all of its galaxies and galaxies and dimensions, it didn't stop. It's still creating. It put something in motion that is going to keep on creating. Until what? Possibly the divine creator that created everything could decide to stop dreaming about having a dream about the dreamer creating, which is in itself. We're the creator. It's dreaming about this Sandee being the creator that's creating the story that the divine is having through me. Having through, in, and as me about the divine being me. Whoa. About the divine being me, or the divine being you, right? So what's your embodiment about your story? I mean, everybody knows that they're really very busy talking about all their trials and tribulations and their triggers and their generational curses and everything. But is that all you are? No, but don't get me wrong. The higher beings came in and put little nuggets in there so that they could seek certain things that are on the lower polarity scale, so that they could move and have a story about moving up the polarity scale and having a story. But they didn't mean for you to stay in it. They didn't mean for you to stay in lack. They didn't mean for you to stay in envy. They didn't mean for you to stay having hatred and malice, even for the people who've done shitty things to you. To be cursed for the rest of your life. That's not it. They said, I had to feel this so that we can feel that. I want to feel what form love is. And some of the other higher beings that came to play with them said, oh, that means that you're going to have to feel a little bit of the lower polarities in order to get to the unconditional love in form body. We can do that for you. We'll be there. We'll be there for that. But the play wasn't supposed to be for the whole interim of your whole life. The whole reason why we got free will is so that we can opt out of the game. But somebody found out that if we let them figure that out, then we won't get, or we'll still be in lack, because then they'll realize that they can't be in lack. Because what they did was they took the form and limited the formless. Hi Keep.None. None. Hi Starlight. Right? I mean, you could, the divine has so many avenues, literally, like driving a car, and the divine is this great big roadmap. And the divine doesn't say no to anything. You can say no to it. You can limit yourself. And guess what? When you limit yourself, the divine says, yes, okay, that's an infinite possibility. You can go for that. And it will be an experience. It will, for the divine, it is not a negative or a positive experience. It's just an experience. For us, it's in form, it's a negative experience. It's a long, drawn-out process, and it's hurt and malice and envy and lack and hate and violence and rape and pillage and everything else. But what we do is we take our verbal embodiment, and embodiment can be a negative or a positive, and we keep the story in play. So now that you know you can opt out, what are you going to do? It's just like anything else. When you're getting new software or something, and they have this one clause that they say, now you have to go click on this hyperlink and go here, and you can opt out. But most people don't want to click on the hyperlink and go there, because they don't want to take those extra few minutes to do that. So they're willing to take their chances. Are you that type of person now that you know that you have a higher being that's come online? You have a glorious conscious mind that you haven't used even less than a quarter of, but you can use all of it. Just other people have told you that human beings, they only use less than not even a full quarter. And that's just the way that is. We're just on that spectrum of things. Well, do you want to change it? Do you want to change that story? Do you want to opt out and use more? Do you want to opt out of the story, going, okay, well, higher being, I think, I'm sitting here with you, and I've noticed that you wanted to feel what abundance was, but we felt lack. Now, how about we feel some abundance? Oh, and the higher being is going, okay, abundance of what? Who? And then you get to sit and go, well, I want more peace. I want more unconditional love. I want more currency flowing into my bank accounts and into my wallet. I want more currency to give to the poor or the needy or whatever. You get to start embodying it on the higher polarities. Do you see when you see a bum ask you for 25 cents? Do you have to turn your nose up and squint your face till it hurts because you don't want to give your 25 cents? This is a choice. You can choose not to. But think about this law, the law of cause and effect. What you put out comes back. If the divine says you are divinely taken care of, all needs, all your needs, all your wants, needs, and desires have already been taken care of before you took this foreign body, why wouldn't you want to just give 25 cents? When you've got $1.25? Or why wouldn't you want to give $1 if you've got $100? What you give shall be multiplied. The law of all of this is life is here to multiply itself, and that doesn't mean doing the bang bang and making babies, which they've led you to believe. Replenish the earth. Replenish the earth is give back what she gave to you. But yet you guys can't do that. But you can certainly complain about somebody else messing up earth consciousness. But it's certainly not you. And then get pissed when the abundance comes back around of exactly what you didn't do for someone else, and complain about somebody else not doing that for you, not being there for you when you need it, whether it's sister, brother, mother, father. Oh, I needed $100 and they couldn't give it to me. And not sit and go, let me see how energy flows. Right? Embodiment. Let me see how what I'm embodying is the energy of me embodying something is going to come back to me. Well, do you want positive affirmations to come back to you, or do you want the negative? That's why the divine says you were born aware, and awareness is aware. But if you choose not to be aware, and guess what? That's a free will choice as well. And the divine will say, let it be so. That's on you. To be aware and to know that awareness is always aware doesn't mean that you have to change your religion. It doesn't mean that you have to leave parents or whatnot. But it means you just become aware of the things that are going on in your life and what you want versus what you don't want. What you want to share versus what you don't want to share. How you want to speak versus how you don't want to speak. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't have to be a me, and I don't have to be someone else. I don't have to be a Michael Bernard Beckwith or a Michael Singer or a Rhonda Byrne or anyone else. Just because I learn the information means I get to take the information and utilize it for my highest and greatest good. Because maybe not everything they say will be for my highest and greatest good at that particular time. I'll take what resonates to me and I'll leave the rest. And for me, leaving the rest means I don't bother to judge it or give it any energy of negativity. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Just because Sandee believes in higher beings and what do you might aliens or I put it this way, I don't like the word alien. I don't like the word alien for out there. I don't like the word alien for aliens coming from another country. I just don't like that word. It's a very negative condescending word for me. I don't like the energy that rides it, the negative lower energy that rides it. But extraterrestrials that come from within the galaxy of the divine expressing itself from all areas of which it created. That I believe. You don't have to believe that. If that's not where you're at, and I have my readings and do my book readings or oracle card readings, you take what resonates. And then that resonates, then you do your affirmations. That's just an action or a process about a statement that you believe is fact or facts. Then you go even further and you do the embodiment. That means that the tangible or the visual form of it, from the idea that you've learned of it, takes effect. You start to feel it. You start to feel the quality of it. You start to feel the effect of it. You start to feel through the emotions the representation of something tangible becoming, or intangible becoming form. And then as it is becoming form, the more you embody it and the more you give it story and visualization, like having a vision board, the more you give it being thankful and grateful, the more energy you give to it, the more it becomes form from the formless. Like you being a sculptor or a painter. Like you being a songwriter or lyricist or composer, or music producer or TV producer or screenwriter, whatever. From the intangible, from the thought and the embodiment of it to the physical form and the beauty of it in full cinematic view. Your life, my life, everyone's life. Over 8 billion of us and those prior came in with a soul. Whether they chose to acknowledge it is on them. That's their story. No one came in soulless. But yes, you can make choices so that your soul doesn't play, or your higher being doesn't play an active part, because all you want to do is be mind and body. And guess what? The divine says, let that be so. You don't have to tap into any of your chakras or your energy system, your creative energy hardware that you're hardwired to do. You can tone down your energy center. You can shut it down. It's your choice. It's called free will, baby. You get to do and be anything you want to be. If you decide you want to be nothing at all and you embody that, then that's what you're going to be. And then you're going to say, how come nobody sees me? How come nobody notices me? Because that's what you wanted to be. And because that's what you wanted to be, you embodied that. The universe had no recourse but to, say, your wish is my command. And that's what you get. You get what you get. But it doesn't mean you have to stay there. It means that when you have an embodying moment, a quiet moment where you can go, ooh, I don't like my life now. How can I change this up? How can I restore and recuperate and regenerate? How can I write a new? What do I do? How do I write a new story? Oh, I have to surrender the old one. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, well, I have to go in and do some shadow work. Or, hey, you could be sitting with your psychiatrist or your psychologist or your therapist, and all of a sudden you have that illuminating quiet moment where you go, ooh, I don't like who I've become. I don't want to do this anymore. Or you could be spiritually waking up and have a dark night of the soul and go, ooh, I got to go walk there. That's not going to be easy because it doesn't feel good, but I'm going to keep doing it because, ooh, I got some help. That my higher being is shining a light on the shadow of what's making me uncomfortable. But I got to call it forward. I got to give it, I got to verbalize to it what I want it to do. I got to call it forth. Because what the shadow is an energy signature of the life you live that is no longer for your highest and greatest good. And you've got to call it forward. Why? Because energy is waiting to serve. Welcome, Raymel. I was just talking about your wonderful live that I was listening to earlier. Energy is waiting to serve you. Or you could say life is waiting for you to give it a command. You can decide whether you're going to do it from a higher polarity or a lower polarity. The divine will say yes. Let it be so, no matter which polarity you choose. And remember, both polarities are function as contrasts so that you have a story to tell. And we've all well over 8 billion of us have gone through high, ups and downs to the story. But for the most part, nobody told us that we could opt out of the story and change the story altogether. But I tell you, if you have if you're signing a contract and there's a loophole, there's a paragraph that says, oh, if you don't want A and B, sign here to opt out, and you don't want it, you sign there to opt out. The contract is still valid. They've given you the choice. Well, the divine has given you the choice. Guess what? It's called free will. That's opting out. That's changing the story. When you're done having a life of what they call the generational curse life, opt out of it. You get to change it. And you're not changing it for your generational family that put the little nuggets into your DNA to get you to the story that your higher being wanted to have with your glorious body. You're opting out of the playtime that the higher being wanted to have, because the higher being did not put a limit on how long it wanted to feel lack or envy or malice or how long it wanted to feel a negative polarity of energy. It just said, I want to feel it. I want to feel what unconditional love is. Well, there was a higher being that said, oh, well, if I play with you, you're going to have to feel what the lower energy of unconditional love is. And the higher beings both said, oh, okay, let's do that. Let's get playing. So when it came time for you to play, your higher being and that other higher being, whoever it was, it might have been a narcissistic person that came in to play with you for a little while. You get to opt out of it when you're done. And unfortunately, nobody told us that, because we were too busy listening that God is outside of us and that we had to endure this. And then if you were having an awakening, that you had to endure this for the sake of the generational, and it was put on your shoulders that you had to change this, otherwise you were going to have a karmic, you're going to keep coming back and doing this karmically. Guess what? If your higher being decides not to come back to do anything karmically, it will end it. The cycle is end. It can start, if it wants to come back and do another human aspect of itself, it can start all the way freaking over. The story is done. Raymel, if you want to come in, you're welcome. Lula, if you want to come in, you're welcome. I'm just here like talking, you know, just here talking. Welcome, Nature Wolf. Welcome. It's Soul Talk with Sandee. It's Sandee M. It's my new venture. I'm going to be doing this, sharing this Soul Talk with Sandee M on Instagram and YouTube in July. So I'm going to be, it's going to be done on live. So I'm excited. So I'm using this page a lot more, and I'm still doing the soul conversations with Sandra, the podcast, you know. So it's going to be kind of the same, but even a little bit more, I don't know. The divine says a little bit more. It's really diving into the unknown and making things known, you know. Not just only, it's soul talk, but taking soul talk into actually a lot of life. Be my own author. I'm working on a book. I am. And I know, Starlight, you keep saying that. You know, so I need to make you my manager, right? But for those who have come in, I would highly suggest listening to the replay of this for the beginning, because I talked about affirmations, embodiments, and embody. What we do is how we embody things. Raymel was talking about the law of attraction this morning, and when I first started Instagram, it was about the law of attraction. It really, I didn't even know the word really then, but I was embodying the secret. Because when I started actually started using the law of attraction, I was going through, I used the law of attraction to first attract a cup of coffee to me. And I mean cup of coffee. No money to buy a cup of coffee, right? I had exactly enough to buy a small cup of coffee, right? I went through the Starbucks, and I was going to get what they call a tall. At that time I think a tall was their version of a small. And so I went to order, and I said, "Oh, give me a tall vanilla latte," right? And a tall vanilla latte, and the guy says, "You sure you just only want to order a tall?" The gentleman just paid it forward, and he paid it forward $5 for you. And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, I'll take the tall, and then you can take that, whatever's left from that $5, and then pay it, you know, back," right? Well, when the guy came back, he came back with, at that time, a grande vanilla latte, extra hot, easy foam, and a Danish. He says, "Do you eat Danish?" And I said, he says, "No, can you eat cheese Danish?" And he says, "Here," right? And then he said, do you have $2? And I said, "Yeah." No. He says, "Do you have 2 singles?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Well, give me the 2 singles, and what's left from this, I'll pay it forward." What? And then the second was, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to act. And I said to myself, and I said to the divine, to the universe, I said, well, next I want to take, I think I want to try my act, you know, and I think I need to find an acting instructor or whatnot. And I said that, just as I said that out loud, my son and my daughter at that time, who were, I think they were they were older teenagers. They saved, they saved whatever money they saved, and they put it together, and they got me a class for I think it was a half-day class where you could go to class and you'd be on. It was a one-on-one, and you would be on the video camera. They would video it for you. They would and give you the video, and have you take sides, which look like little scripts, and read on camera, and then the teacher would give you instructions and everything. And we were talking about, when I looked at the replay, I fell in love with myself. And she said, the teacher told me, now it might be that they tell all the students there, but she had already gotten paid for her money, really. And she said, you make love to the camera when you talk. The camera just loves you. And she said, when you get a chance, I would suggest finding a teacher, right? And taking some more classes. And so after taking that class, I went to the Starbucks that I normally go to. And some people that normally I see there, they had missed me. But know this, they did not know my name. We just looked at each other with eyes like, hey, how you doing? Hello, how you doing? That kind of thing. Not knowing each other, not, whatnot. And you're absolutely right. The law of attraction is the most powerful law, but it's not the first law. The first law is the law of unconditional love, which is tethered to the law of attraction, which is the first law that the divine created with. Right? That blew me away when I found out that. That came deeper after I started to go deep with that. It like blew me away. It's like, oh, okay. And then I get where the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he created everything in its image. I get that now. It's unconditional love. It's the divine loved the world, himself, their selves, the essence of the divinity so much that it created itself in form, right? Yes, law of oneness. But in it, when they break it down, the law of oneness is the law of love. And the law of love is the law of manifestation or attraction. I was like, whoa, that's oneness. I was like, shit. It blew me away. It blew me away. Yeah. It just blew me away, right? And then to add, when I started doing the Instagram, it was about, because a lot of people were giving it a lot of negative energy about it. And I kind of I was meditating, and I said, what's up? I want to see that which I don't see or don't understand, why they don't understand how to use it. And my higher being, when I got there, the higher being said, they're not embodying themselves. They're not taking into account who they are. And sometimes they have to learn, are they asking for their highest and greatest good? Because if they're getting back the wrong vibration of what they're manifesting, it's because, like Ramel was talking about, they're embodying the negative aspects of the lower polarities, and they're getting the abundance of that. So today, just a lot of information was being brought back. It's like, okay, because the divine was telling me to get back to my first love. And that was my first love, is helping people to embody themselves, to know themselves well, to get to their authentic self, so that when they consciously and of awareness ask of the universe to manifest, they're manifesting with true of heart for themselves. Right? And then, okay, this is what I want to get back to, but it's not that I want to go backwards. It's just that I want to be consciously aware of where this all started and how it's progressing. Because then that I actually can see the vibrational shift of me, of my growth, my expansion, my awareness, of my authenticity in my evolution. And that it is for the service of others. And get this, the divine told me the service of others is the divine that moves through each and every one of all beings. Not just all human beings, but all beings, to the service of others. And then I went, okay, got it. Whereas we get to our higher being gets to choose one of two polarities: the negative polarity or the positive polarity. Positive polarity is service to others, which services self. Because the divine has already taken care of the fact that your needs, your wants, your desires were taken care of before you got here. They were put in your backpack when you came. Backpack is this. You don't have to put the backpack on or take the backpack off. Right? Same for me. I started off teaching the universal laws and drifted off, then was led back to teach and bring awareness to how to work with the universe and the unseen forces. Exactly. And the fact that I'm reading Dolores Cannon's book, it's unseen forces. We seem to think all of this is outside of us, that extraterrestrials come from there. But they come from within us, because we are wholeness. And the divine is wholeness. And the archetype of the divine is everywhere, all at once and not at once. I'm just like, whoa. I'm just like, whoa. Right? And how to use forces. And to finding out from the law of one that there are higher beings that as they're moving up the polarity, they don't have to actually merge back with the divine. They get the opportunity at fifth density and sixth density to turn around and reincarnate. But they don't have to reincarnate in human form, especially if they're going the negative polarity route. What I found out was, if they take the negative polarity route and they incarnate into a human being again, they run the risk of higher beings acknowledging that they exist, pointing them out, seeing them. Right? So normally what they choose is they choose to be a conscious a being in that they will take a conscious entity taking form as your situations, your circumstances, or deities that you call deities. Hence the devil. They'll be exactly that. Your free will. Your free will is, if you believe in the devil, that you're giving them free will to play that role for you. Because what? The divine says yes to everything you choose. It's your choice, it's free will. That blew me away. Whoa. I mean, whoa. I'm still learning a whole lot. But see, this is stuff that I had embodying questions about. I've always watched sci-fi movies. I've always watched alien movies. And I've always watched all these things that I would say, well, why are they painting them in that picture? Because I've always felt that the extraterrestrials are not here to hurt us, that they're here to help us grow and expand. I just never knew the information. I couldn't substantiate it. Right? Hold on, let me see okay, so I was led to work on connecting to my true authentic self so that I can embody my highest expression and then become an open vessel to allow this wisdom to flow through me. Exactly. Exactly. And for me, I know my mother was also my a guardian spirit that was helping me to stay open. She may not have known it. She may have just been living a life and allowing her energy quotient to support Earth consciousness and humanity, and I was part of humanity. Every time I wanted to ask an embodying question, she would, and she couldn't answer it, or I wasn't getting an answer because I grew up in a time where children should be seen and not heard, and that was just the way it was. And when the adults came in the room, children went into another room. And you don't repeat what adults say, and that whole kind of thing. Very kind of shut down the throat chakra kind of thing. Make you feel claustrophobic kind of thing. Even though I wasn't locked in closets and I wasn't abused by my uncles or my aunts, my family, but there were certain triggers. But was it a generational curse? No, not for me. But that doesn't mean I don't understand other people having that. Just because I wasn't in a deep traumatic thing doesn't mean I don't understand somebody who does. But my question to them is, do you want to stay there? And sometimes people want to stay there simply because they don't know who they're going to be when they release that. Because right now they've got people who are helping them through. People are, even if they're saying, oh, you poo soul and blah, 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 they're still being noticed. They're not happy and they're not comfortable, and it doesn't feel good to them. But we have to approach them with unconditional love and care, and giving them or allowing them to get the information with not just wisdom and understanding, but unconditional love and patience. Not trying to take them for a ride with their money. Not giving them the right information. There are a lot of people out there that do the spiritual thing and take everybody's money and take no responsibility for fucking up somebody's life even more. So it's not just the dogmatic Christianity, and it's not just the dogmatic left and right of politics, but it's also, there are some people in spirituality, there are some people in other businesses and walks of life that are set out to make sure that they get theirs at the cost of others. That's called the negative polarity. You'll walk on somebody's back to get what you want, even if you break their back. Right? Okay, let me keep moving this up. Hi, Peter. And all I know is there is a lot more for me to learn. I don't know it all. I know what I know right now, but what I know right now might grow and expand even more. Doesn't mean it'll be wrong later. It just means that there is this process of growth and expansion. There is this process of shifting, shimmering, and evolving. And I know one thing, that it must continue. That the story must continue. Or the dream. I believe it like this. The dreamer, divine, is dreaming about the dreamer, me, having a dream. Did you get that? The dreamer, the divine, dreaming about me, the dreamer, having a dream, right? About me. Let's see. I realized I know nothing which allows me to receive wisdom beyond my own understanding. I realize I know nothing which allows me to receive wisdom beyond my own understanding. The divine put it there. In order for us to understand it, it's already there. I didn't create the wisdom and understanding. I create from the wisdom and understanding. But the divine, just as there's a positive energy, there's a negative energy. Why? Because the divine is the energy. We get to have the free will to create from the energy, from the wisdom, from the understanding. And the divine gives us the wisdom and the understanding. You could watch, I watched a movie yesterday, and the whole first part of the movie was just, it was just interesting. It was, I tried not to judge it, right? Until I got to the end of it, the last maybe 30 minutes. And then I kept going, I have an open mind, and I'm going to watch it because something kept me glued to it. And then at the end of it, it was talking about what they had said was happening, was that when the earth was in turmoil, it had a virus that was leashed on earth consciousness, the forest and everything. It was dying, it was killing the air, people were not being able to breathe and whatnot. And so they found this technology in a cave in earth, and they tried to utilize the technology so that they could take people to a better world. And they found one. But in the midst of traveling there, because they had to test it, traveling there was an error that occurred. And when they came out of this vortex, they were someplace where they thought they were uncharted, right? And this is actually Ray Mail, what he just finished saying, that I realize I know nothing which allows me to receive wisdom beyond my own understanding, right? So they thought these technicians and scholars thought they knew, and when they got to this place, when they came out, it was not the same coordinates, right? But as they got to the end of the movie, they found out that they had not traveled to a new place. They traveled back in time. So the place that they traveled back to was a beyond primordial Earth. There weren't dinosaurs here. They went even beyond that. So the divine was already talking about even beyond the first and second polarities. When the Earth was just starting. And that's when I went, whoa, here it is. Here's the wisdom and the understanding. Here I'm beginning to understand. The thing is, everything is here for us to learn from. The divine isn't giving us anything new. It's giving us it, or him, or she, or they, or whatever your higher, whatever your label is for that's higher Almighty God, a source or creator, whatever it is, that source, that creator, that Almighty God is giving us this the information is already there. All we've got to do is tap into it. And where is it? It's in here. It's in your heart chakra. It's in your DNA. The divine put the backpack of life within us. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Let me see how long I've been on this. Whew. 65 minutes, so an hour and 5 minutes. I'm in the midst of wondering who I am, lately learning how negative I was throughout my years. I cried in realizing that I was the problem. I know, don't you cry when you actually figure out that you're your own reason and that you have all the power within you to change? But hey, we've been taught all this time that we were supposed to blame everybody else. Matter of fact, oh, he's my trigger. Oh, she's my trigger. Nope. She's just the one that bumped up against your trigger. He's just the one that bumped up against your trigger. Your trigger was within you. Lot of inner work. Hold on a second. It's like, yeah, sometimes you kind of go, yeah. But what happens after you cry and realize that? Do you now go deep? Oh, I'm going to tell you, going deep was it wasn't an easy route to do.
Hi, Sandee. How are you?
Hi, I can barely hear you.
Hang on 1 minute. Can you hear me now?
Nope, it's really, you're really
What about this?
yeah, a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I can see your eyes and the top of you. Okay, there we go. Hi, Goddess Love 888. I'm not sure if you're hanging with the kids, but if you want to come in, you can. This is Soul
I
Talk
think what
with
you,
Sandee M. What did you have something to say about what I was saying?
yeah, I think what it is right, and I believe this, that we never stop learning.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like we say that we never stop learning. You start learning the day you're born.
Uh, did you say you start learning the day you're born?
Yes.
Yes, I
And the thing
agree.
is, and the thing is, each little step you learn is another step to making your own. It's like the big path. It's a path. So every little step you're taking on that path is a step to like learning.
Yeah.
So I believe like there's loads of things like what I believe in is like you never stop learning. And then I have this belief when we pass, it just I do believe in life after death in a way that like not like when you say to someone, "Oh, you've been here before."
You didn't believe that?
When I was younger, I didn't believe it, but then I heard a lot of people one day saying that to me, "Oh, you've been here before. You've been here before." I was like, "Well, okay, okay. Does that mean I have?" When people are saying that I have actually lived this life before.
Yeah. Uh, the human experience before, maybe not this exact life, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, you did say I've been here before, and then you start thinking, I wonder if this. It's only when you're an adult you start learning and you start connecting and putting the T's, dotting the T's and crossing the I's, and you start going, oh, yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I done this. I remember when, and you start remembering little things that you done when you were younger, but you can also incorporate when you're older as well. And I do believe that circle comes around. So I think we never grow old, just that our thoughts grow old. If you think
Yeah,
about it
well,
like that.
yeah. I, I don't know. There's so many infinite possibilities. I think as soon as we learn something, there's all of a sudden there's another breakthrough of possibilities that show up that, at least for me, take my puzzle piece called life and dump all the pieces out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I have to take these pieces and I have to put them through the fire, and all the others all of a sudden look down at the puzzle container and go, shit, that's what shifted, that's what changed, right?
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. And I also think as well, like on a spiritual level, if you really want to go down that way, I think when you're given a gift, you're given a gift for a reason.
Pardon? What, getting a gift is easy?
No, so you're given a gift for a
Oh,
reason.
for a reason, yes.
Yeah. I don't think like you can fall into like doing tarot cards or being spiritual. I think you sometimes the gifts there, but you
Yeah.
don't know you have it. It's like I always say to you, Sandra, when we talk about random things, I always have like visions of like seeing things that happen to me in a year or 3 years down the line. And it's like, whoa, okay, wow, I've seen that. Wow. And I used to
Yeah.
not embrace it, but now I'm like, oh, yes, this makes sense. Everything makes sense. You never stop learning, but there is a time we do stop as well.
I didn't hear that. There is a time when you stop what?
Learning,
So you never stop learning, but is a time when you stop learning.
yeah. And you know that sounds a bit of a contradiction is when your time's up, that's the day you stop learning. But
Yes.
but as I said, it's a cycle, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a cycle. It depends. It really depends. To me,
Yeah,
what happens for me, what happens is that cycle, it doesn't, when you stop, when the form separates from the formless here in this life, then the form has nothing to do with whatever the next cycle of that life
yeah,
cycle is. It's all
yeah,
that higher being, and
yeah, yeah,
it, for me, finding out that that higher being can decide to go, oh, I want to go and I want to keep up with Sandra's family. So I want to go be her grandkids' kids. Do you know what I mean? In that
yeah,
cycle of things. Or it gets to decide it wants to try a whole it might even decide that it wants to be part of the divine's uh, uh, in another galaxy, you know.
yeah,
I mean, uh, what what I get excited about is the fact that there's so many infinite possibilities. It's not just the infinite possibility of this Earth cycle. It's the infinite possibility of all of the creation of the divine.
yeah,
You that my higher being gets to go on. It goes in somehow or whatever form or fashion that it connects back with the divine, and it says, "Here, this is who I and you, being the divine combined, was as Sandee." And then the divine says, "I've always pictured it saying, yes, this is good. Let it be so." And then giving that
yeah,
option of to my higher being, now what do you want to do, right?
yeah. And I think as well, what we got to remember is life has, as you said just then, life has so many infinite possibilities. When I go for walks, there's a reason why I walk every day, and I
Mm-hmm.
think about things like this, and I think about like life in general, where I want to go in life, what I want to do, And like it's a walking meditation
Mm-hmm.
in a way, because I'll have my headphones on, I'll be listening to music, but I'll be really engrossed in my thoughts. And it's like I go to myself, well, okay, but like for me, I'll use myself as an example. I never had the best school life, high school life as you call it. I was bullied a lot at school. I didn't pass any exams, but my thirst for knowing things and being inquisitive and being like, oh, okay, I'll have a go at that. I'll try that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But as well,
Sorry, I've got a neighbor who's driving by in a car, and their music is louder than everything on the block. Hold on. It's nice music,
I
but they have to
disturbed a
pass
little bit
by.
then.
All
But
right.
I think like the reason why and it's about, and I think this is a big important thing what we should remember, connection, because you will learn off other people.
You will learn from other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
about the
that's the whole. I
connection.
think that's the whole story. That's why it's everything is intertwined. Everything is wholeness. And what I've learned so far is that everybody in your story isn't always part of the story. It's kind of like having featured extras or extras in your story that are place fillers that
Yeah,
fill,
like
you know.
yeah,
And so everybody who's having a story, we're all back to back having a story, and we're all place fillers in other people's story. Either we're like when I was doing my acting, you had the lead and you had your co-star, then you had your featured extra, you had your day player, and then you had just plain extras that show up in they could put on a different coat and put on a pair of sunglasses and be in one
yeah,
scene, and then they can take they're not in a coat, they're in a hat and a hat and jogging pants, and you never actually see their face. And then when I
yeah,
thought about it, put that to life of how you and I right now, we're co-stars in the
yeah,
story, sharing this live. Even though it's my live, I consider you to be a co-star. Not, do you know what I mean? So you're
yeah,
sharing something with me.
yeah,
But
yeah,
do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
and
yeah,
and and the different people who show up in who follow you, they're not the co-stars, but they're your they're your featured extras that always show up. You start to learn them by name. You start to see them when they come in. You don't call them by their screen name. You start to slowly remember their name, and they become part of the story, depending on where the story picks up. And it's like, oh, that's what it is. And for that, it's part of the learning, or the learning and education of growth, of expansion. It's like blue tea tiara, I think that is, and Azuki and Noah Matt and uh, Goddess Loves 88. They're all part of this glorious story. And the more that we get to know them, I start to incorporate them into, give them more parts to play, actually write them more parts to play, because then
yeah,
they may end up in coming months being on my Soul Conversations with Sandee, the podcast, or my Soul Talk with Sandee, uh, um, uh, my YouTube lives, that kind of thing. And you know
yeah,
at the end of all this, for me, 140 years plus one, at the end of all that, um, they're part of that story that is given to the divine, saying, this is who we were as Sandee.
Yeah.
my higher being, that is that activation of the divine says, this is who we were as Sandee. And the
Yeah.
divine says, and let it be so. And that record, it goes into the divine gets to remember it, or whoever you call your divine gets to remember it. And then the divine says to the higher being, do you want to play again?
Yeah. And I
Now,
think as well,
the higher being could say, hey, I want to take that body form that was called Sandee because I really love how she fits. I would like to take her and go into another galaxy. So I might play
yeah,
another role there, but it won't be the Sandee that I played here.
yeah. And I think that's really interesting you say that, because like we've known each other for a while, and I feel I pick up on vibes and patterns and stuff. So I can watch behaviour. It's
Mm-hmm.
proper interesting because I can pick up on behaviours that are not necessarily there, but will show themselves, and it's like, oh, okay, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. So you pick up on behaviours and you learn the behaviours of other people, and being autistic, you can mirror behaviour.
Yeah.
So if, say, for example, you were nasty to me, I can mirror your same behaviours, but I've learned how to do that because someone else is showing me how to do that behaviour. So it's all about, like, we learn in different ways. So some people are visual learners, some people can write things down, some people can listen and learn how to get from A to B. I'm a visual learner,
A
so
visual. Yeah.
I like to be visual with things. And when someone tells me how to get to a certain road or a certain place, I will forget within 2 minutes. But if someone showed me a map or drew me a map, I go, oh yeah, that's round that corner. And
Mm-hmm.
then what I'll do when I get there, I'll remember something for the next time, a shop or something. So when I go again, I can look for the shop and know I'm in that area where it was. And that's it.
I'm
It's like proper
smiling
weird.
because you brought back when I was learning how to drive, right? Okay. I think I was 16, yeah. And I was learning how to drive. And I got my driver's license. And when I was driving, what I would do was I never would remember streets, right? I wouldn't remember streets. I would remember the things that were on the streets, the buildings. You know, oh, I make a left turn at this building, so and so, or I make a right turn at this gas station that's next to this big tree, and things. Well, um, hold on. We got a motorcycle going by. Vroom, 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 vroom. Right.
Vroom.
So one uh, one night I had to from work. I had to take a welcome, Taurus girl. Hi, Julie Bloom.
That's a
Um,
friend.
that's a friend of yours. Yeah, I know. So I had to, and this was pretty young. I think maybe I had turned just 17, maybe 18. So it was really cool. I was confident, right? One night I had to work late, and I had to work late. And what happened was going to work, I did not notice on the other side of the street something that was gone. A building was gone, right? They were building something in its place, and I didn't notice. So when I was coming home, and it was late at night, well, 11 o'clock at night, you know, I kept driving and I kept driving, and I'm going, I don't remember. I remember making a left turn to go down the street that's a long, curvy street. How come I should be at it by now, right? Not knowing that the building that I had remembered is gone, because I committed everything to memory, not streets. right? But my brother used to always tell me as he was teaching me to drive, you have to remember the streets, Sandee. But Sandee, you know, my automatic memory just came up, right?
Yeah,
Until that happened.
but it
Do you see
goes
what?
to like say like that's how people learn differently, and people will learn like for me, I can go right. It took me right. I'll show you this what I'm working on by the way. It took
Ooh,
me.
that's beautiful.
It's a. I took a picture. So this church here. Sorry, I'm going to digress a little bit. I'll just show you. So this church is known in Liverpool. Oh God, hang on.
Hi, Luna
Let me get this.
Queen. Hi, Kayla.
So this church here. So this is a church. We
Mm-hmm.
call it the bombed out church.
It's called, say it that one time again,
The
because your
bombed
volume
out.
is still a little low.
So we call this the bombed out church
Uh-huh.
because in the Second World War, Liverpool was bombed in the Blitz.
Yeah.
And that was one of the churches that was blown up. So we
Oh.
call it the bombed out church. But um,
I
yeah,
think Doctor Who did an episode of that church. That's the
yeah,
first time we
well,
met that's the first time we met I forgot what they called the guy.
so,
Captain Jack Hartness
yeah.
is when they did that
So
episode.
we do film a lot in Liverpool because
Uh-huh.
we've got original Victorian cobbled streets,
Mm-hmm.
and we film all kinds. We film Peaky Blinders, we film we filmed Harry Potter in Liverpool.
Uh-huh.
So we filmed in the tunnel. No, when the bus goes through the tunnel
Oh,
of
really?
Harry Potter, that was the tunnel in
Oh,
Liverpool.
oh, okay.
And no, the other one, Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we filmed that outside St George's Hall. All St George's Hall was blocked off. And then another one, the newest Batman, he filmed in Liverpool when he was on the tower. That was the live birds, and he's on the clock,
Okay.
standing on the clock. That was yeah. So
Oh,
anyway, so for
let me
me,
see how long I've been.
yeah.
66.03. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So for me, learning a computer program, I can do it in 5 minutes.
Pardon?
It's so I can learn a computer program in 5 minutes
In 5 minutes? Okay. Yeah.
because it's visual, and I'll go, oh, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, oh, and I'll just play with it, and I'll go, oh, that's how you do that, that's how you do. But I think learning in everything is different for others. So, like what you say, you take what resonates with you and leave the rest. It's
Yes.
good with learning. You take
Yeah.
what you need and then you throw the rest away if you don't
Yeah.
need it.
That's pretty
But,
much what I do.
yeah, but as well, you don't throw it away, you keep it.
Yeah.
You do keep it here. So it's always stored in the library in your head.
Yeah. I think for me, when I finally let go of the fact that I don't memorize anything. Like most people, some people can, they'll write up their notes and everything, and then they memorize it so they can, actually do it word for word, and they're not looking away. They're steadily looking in the camera and delivering their information. Me, I have to have notes, right?
So
I just I'm still that's an inner shadow work that I'm still doing, but the divine has told me that it doesn't matter about that because the gift that I've been given is to speak from the heart. So I can have little notes that I will look down at, and I'll have like what they call leader words, like I'll have a leader word or a leader phrase, and then all of a sudden, as soon as thought or as soon as intention plus energy plus thought all converge, then I just start speaking,
Yeah,
right?
and the
And
thing is though,
um,
sorry,
go ahead.
I think the thing is though as well, Sandy, is it's about, I think like we learn at different speeds, and I use notes something now and again, not all the time, just to prompt and just like, oh, okay, right, let me just have a look back here and let me see what I'm talking. Oh, that's it, right, yeah, blah 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 blah. And like people say to me, you could just you could talk to England, and
Hmm. You have to
why and do you
speak up a
think
little bit because your volume
I
just
can
went
talk
down.
to like I can talk to England? People say, like,
Yeah,
that it's
I don't know.
like,
Is something covering your speaker?
no,
No? Okay, don't knock yourself out of the
so
thingy. Uh-oh, he froze. Okay, he'll come back. You
yeah. And I
froze for
think
a minute.
yeah, it's because I pressed the button and I was. But I think as well, all in all, we all have different ways of learning, and we all learn at different speeds. But we all learn the same. I think we all learn the same, just that some are slower, some are faster. And I think, like as you say, it's all done in ways that we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
There's no
I
right
mean, yeah.
or wrong
I
in
mean,
learning.
there are over 8 billion of us on this planet, and all of us are unique and intrinsically different. And I think that's the way it's
Yeah,
made
yeah,
to be. No one is exactly the same. We tend to flow into groups because we have thoughts that might flow the same way, and we'll say, "Oh, we're in this group or this clique," or even with us as spiritual, we'll talk about it. Our spiritual, we're holding space for our whatever our spiritual group is, but I think as an individual and our course of learning or growing, expanding, becoming, it's uh, authentically unique to each individual, our growth, our expanding, our
yeah,
wisdom, our understanding, and literally, it's going to change us. It's going to evolve us. Where 10 years ago we used to think X, Y, and Z, and now we think beyond that. And then and some of us are doubling back and going, oh, I remember when I did X, Y, and Z, and they're pulling out these paperwork, and they're scientists are pulling out their paperwork and going, oh, this doesn't fit anymore. Now I need to apply this learning to it. I need to
yeah.
update. So we're all constantly updating.
So we're constant. So
Good
it's
afternoon,
basically,
Lunar Queen.
I think the thing is as well, what you've got to look at is how can I sum it up in one word? It's hard because you can't sum up learning in one word. I think it's very, oh, I don't know what I call it. It's hard, but because there's loads of different assets, loads of different facets sorry, in learning. But I'm going to end it on this one because I know you're like an hour and a half over an hour. So I know you like to keep your life, but never stop learning.
Yeah, it's a constant.
Never stop learning.
Yeah,
Brilliant. And when
never
you're
stop
old, it's
learning.
a lot easier. Never stop
I
learning.
agree. Never stop learning. Even if it's a little bit each day,
Yeah,
never stop learning. I totally agree. But I am going to save this for anybody coming into the room now, last minute. Check out the beginning, middle, and end in the replay. There's always a little bit of something for everyone. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Thank Peter uh, uh, for coming on and sharing wisdom and understanding with us, and sharing his art with us. I really like that. And you know what? Now that I'm remembering, I'm going to DM you my address so you can send me those. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I'm doing a bit
Okay.
of,
I was waiting to hear from you, and I didn't hear from you, so I'm going to just give it to you. Okay. Which
yeah,
one do you want me to send it to? The one that we're on now, the
yeah,
Peter Scott.
yeah. But
Okay.
I'm changing this page because I'm incorporating something out. So I'm renaming the page, and I was thinking about this. Am I going to call it Studio P with the letter P?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
I'm going to
You're going to call it what?
call it. I'm either going to call it Studio P or something else. The
Okay.
page.
Okay.
Because I'm incorporating music and stuff now and things that I like, more of my hobbies that I used to do. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well, just let me know, because what happens is it doesn't let me know when you change the page name. And then if I don't know the exact page name, I can't find you. But I can find you through the other page. So I know that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll send you the DM when I do it.
Okay. I
All
got
right.
it. All righty. I love you. I love you all. Thank you for stopping by. Love, light, and hey, have a beautiful Tuesday. Peace.
And you. Bye.